If your outer world feels stuck, it's not because life is against you, it's because your inner world is out of alignment. Every argument, every failure, every door that won't open, it all begins in the quiet corners of your mind. You see, your thoughts are not just passing clouds, they're blueprints. Each one designs a piece of the life you live. But when those thoughts are built from fear, doubt, and resistance, your reality reflects the same. You might think you're chasing success, peace, or love, but if your mind is out of sync, it's like running in a dream. You move fast, but nothing changes. The truth is simple, until your mind shifts, nothing outside of you ever will. So the real question isn't, how do I change my life? It's, how do I fix the mind that creates it? And once you understand that, everything begins to work in ways you never imagined. Your mind is a builder. Every belief, every word, every quiet thought, it's laying bricks. But most people never notice what they're building. When life feels hard, when everything seems to go wrong, we usually blame the world. We say, if I had more money, if I had more time, if people understood me, things would finally work. But here's the truth, the outer world only mirrors what's already playing inside the mind. Imagine your mind as a projector and life as the screen. If the film inside is full of fear, anger, or self-doubt, no matter how hard you scrub the screen, the image won't change. You can switch jobs, relationships, or locations, but the same story keeps following you. That's not bad luck. That's programming. For years, maybe decades, you've been running the same mental patterns, beliefs you never questioned, thoughts you didn't choose, reactions you didn't understand. You were taught to survive, not to awaken. You were taught to chase happiness, not to create it. And that's why the mind becomes the cage, not because it's evil, but because it's asleep. An asleep mind can't create a conscious life. So if your life feels like it's not working, it's not life that's broken. It's the lens you're looking through. Fixing your mind doesn't begin with control. It begins with awareness. You can't fight your thoughts, that only makes them stronger. You can't silence your emotions, that only buries them deeper. Awareness is the light that dissolves the darkness. Think about it. Have you ever noticed the voice in your head that constantly comments on everything you do? That voice says things like, "You're not doing enough. You'll never get it right. Why even try?" That voice isn't you, it's your conditioning. It's the echo of every fear you've ever absorbed from parents, teachers, or the world around you. The first step to fixing your mind is to see that voice without believing it. When you notice a negative thought and simply say, "That's not me, that's my mind," something powerful happens. A small gap appears between you and your thoughts. That gap is freedom. Because the truth is, you are not your mind. You are the awareness behind it. This simple recognition can begin to change everything. The moment you become the observer, you stop being the victim of your own mental loops. Thoughts still come, but now they pass through you instead of controlling you. And as that awareness grows, the old programming starts to lose its grip. It's like waking up from a long dream you didn't realize you were in. Once you see the patterns, you can begin to rewrite them. This isn't about positive thinking. It's about conscious thinking, directing your mental energy instead of letting it scatter. Let's break it into 3 practical steps. Step 1, observe without judgment. Every time you catch yourself spiraling into worry, anger, or doubt, pause. Don't fight the thought. Don't try to erase it. Just notice it, as if you're watching clouds drift across the sky. The key is neutrality. When you stop labeling your thoughts as good or bad, you take away their power. Here's why that works. Judgment keeps the pattern alive. Observation dissolves it. Over time, you'll start to notice that many of your thoughts repeat, the same fears, the same stories, again and again. That's not truth, that's programming replaying itself. The more you observe, the weaker those loops become. Step 2, replace the old pattern with a conscious one. After awareness comes choice. Once you see a thought for what it is, just energy, just programming, you can consciously plant a new one. For example, when your mind says, "I'll never get through this," gently respond. "Maybe that's what I used to believe, but now I'm learning to see differently." This isn't forced affirmation. It's gentle redirection, shifting the energy of your thoughts so they align with truth, not fear. Every new thought you repeat builds a new neural pathway. Every small act of choosing awareness over reaction rewires your brain. Think of it like training a wild horse. At first it resists, but over time it begins to listen. And soon, it moves with you instead of against you. Step 3, anchor in stillness. The mind is always busy. It loves noise, distraction, and control. But the space beneath thought, that stillness, is where true healing begins. Spend even 5 minutes a day in silence. No phone, no music, no task. Just breathe and notice your thoughts as they rise and fall. Stillness is not emptiness, it's awareness in its purest form. And when you practice being still, your mind slowly learns to rest. The fog begins to clear. What was once chaos becomes clarity. In that stillness, new insights start to surface, answers that logic could never reach. Because when you quiet the noise of the mind, you can finally hear the language of the soul. Once you begin to fix the mind, life starts to respond in quiet, subtle ways. You'll notice coincidences, the right people, the right moments, the right opportunities, showing up without struggle. You'll find yourself reacting differently to challenges that once overwhelmed you. You'll realize that peace isn't something you chase, it's something you create by aligning your inner world with truth. This is the beginning of conscious living. And it's not magic. It's alignment. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions all move in the same direction, the universe mirrors that back to you. That's why everything starts to work. It's not that life suddenly becomes perfect, it's that your perception changes. You begin to see lessons where you once saw problems. You begin to feel gratitude where you once felt lack. And that shift changes everything. Think of your mind as the soil. If the soil is dry, full of weeds, nothing good can grow, no matter how much you want it. But when you tend to it, clear it, and water it with awareness, new life begins to sprout. You don't have to force it. You just have to care for the soil, your mind, with attention and presence. And as you do, old cycles fall away on their own. Toxic patterns stop repeating. The chaos settles. You start waking up each day not asking, "What's wrong with my life?" but wondering, "What's possible today?" That's when you know your mind has begun to heal. Here's where most people stop, and it's why they never reach true freedom. Fixing the mind is powerful, but it's only the first stage. Because once your mind becomes clear, another layer begins to awaken, awareness itself starts to expand. And this is where the real transformation begins. You start to sense that you're not just the thinker, you're something beyond the thoughts. You begin to realize that consciousness is using the mind as a tool, not as an identity. But that discovery, that moment when awareness becomes self-aware, changes everything about how reality operates. It's not just about healing the mind anymore. It's about transcending it. That's where we go next, into the space beyond thought, beyond control, beyond the limits of the human mind. Because only there does true freedom begin.